Our News on Terror segment tonight. Is Iran provoking a showdown with the United States? That's the question observers are left wondering after an Iranian drone buzzed a U.S. fighter jet over the Persian Gulf. Tensions have been high with Iran in recent months after President Trump's vocal criticism of the Iran nuclear deal. So, are things going to get worse before they get better? With me now from the Center for Security Policy, former CIA analyst Fred Fleitz. Fred, Iran is another major foreign policy challenge for the Trump administration. We thought that our relationship with Iran would get better under the Obama administration thanks to the nuke deal, right? That's what Obama told us. But even right after that happened, we continue to see aggression from Iran at many different levels. And now that the Trump administration is vocal about the nuke deal and how they want to rip that up, we're going to maybe see a lot more aggression coming from Iran.
I think that's right, Stephanie. You might remember how President Obama and Secretary Kerry said that the nuclear deal would bring Iran into the community of nations and its behavior would improve. Its behavior got a lot worse. It sent troops into Syria, it stepped up to support of terrorism, and it's been harassing shipping in the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. And this is continuing at a slightly lower rate during the Trump administration. I think the Iranians are testing President Trump and the United States, and I think they're making a serious mistake.
Well, and not only was the Iran nuke deal a terrible deal, but we have to remember that the Obama administration dropped off hundreds of millions of dollars in the middle of the night to Iran, and this is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism. So now they have tons of money. We don't know what exactly they're up to. And a lot of people are wondering today, we see the crisis going on in North Korea, and this is kind of history happening over again. And people are wondering if this is what's going to happen with Iran if the nuclear deal stays in place.
This is a really good question. In my book, Obama Bomb, A Dangerous and Growing National Security Fraud, I made it clear that the nuclear deal rests on an assumption by Mr. Obama. That is, we can live with a nuclear Iran. Well, guess what happened today? Susan Rice published an op-ed in which she said, we can live with a nuclear North Korea. This is a gotcha moment. Now we know. This was the foundation of the Obama administration's incredibly inept and dangerous foreign policy, conceding nuclear weapons to our enemies. I always thought that that's what the Obama administration was up to. Now we know.
Yes, and I want to play this clip for you that we have. It was of Donald Trump in 1999, where he was criticizing Bill Clinton and North Korea's policies. Roll tape.
And would you rather have a very, very serious chat with them now, and if necessary, you might have to do something fairly drastic, or would you rather have to go after them in 5 years when they have more nuclear warheads and missiles than we do?
When you say something fairly drastic, that sounds like you're suggesting a potential Israeli-like unilateral strike against the Osirak reactor in Iraq in the 80s.
You can never rule it out. What Israel did was fantastic, and you can never rule it out. And you know what? If you ruled it out, you couldn't talk to them. Why would they? The only thing they're afraid of is exactly what you just said. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they're concerned with. You'll most likely, with that attitude, be able to make a deal. But if you can't, you have to react.
So it was Bill Clinton that paved the way for a nuclear North Korea. Bush did nothing really to stop it. And Donald Trump called it in 1999.
I think that's right. The nuclear deal with North Korea was a disaster. The Bush administration was actually pretty good in the first term, but in the second term, under Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, they were absolutely awful. They were just a little bit better than the Obama administration, and their policy was to do nothing and to kick this disaster down the road to the next president. I think Donald Trump has to use every possible peaceful, every possible sanctions effort to avoid a military conflict. But at the end of the day, I think North Korea's nuclear missile arsenals are offensive weapons, and this is not a crisis we can kick down the road again.
Well, there's a lot of hysteria over Donald Trump's rhetoric when it comes to North Korea. Do you think he needs to tone it down?
Well, I mean, let's think about, remember the cool character, Barack Obama, nothing would rattle him? Well, he didn't really have a lot to say about North Korea, even though it put videos on the internet of nuking Washington, D.C. I think President Trump is reflecting the outrage of the American people that this is unacceptable, that the U.S. is not going to tolerate being threatened like this. And when we see missiles that are being designed to attack our nation, I think Mr. Trump had to put down a marker.
Yeah, I think so. And I do think that the tough talk is important. North Korea needs to know that there's a new sheriff in town, that they're not going to be able to walk all over this president like they did with the Obama administration. We're going to have to leave it here. Thank you.